Shalom to the nines, but we're about to go max. All these Sabbath lies, never sticking to the facts. Stop in the name of God, just stop. That's it. It's never been convincing. You really should quit. Don't answer the questions like the public demands, but come for Shabbat and you're about to throw hands. He love locks, the logic's not faulty. They're delicious, they're crunchy and they're salty. Enough is enough with the dreidel made of clay. Charlie had a goy toy and he'd be spinning it all day. Man, I should've known. Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's home. Throw down the phone. Yeah, I should've known. Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's home.
Shabbat Shalom. That is a song by Fleet.
Yeah, shout out to Fleet. Thank you for letting us use that, by the way.
Yeah, and she had to change her name up to Bad Goy Fleet for whatever reason. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does some great work though. Has like a really cool series about TPUSA on there. So like I really urge people to check it out. It's hilarious.
It's great.
She just loves them people.
Definitely wonderful representation. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Very artistic.
So calling Andrew Wilson. I know I won't get a response because I'm nobody. Babe, I'm sorry. You're nobody too. We're nobodies. But that doesn't matter. The truth is all that really matters around here. And watching his, I guess you could call it a debate with Stu Peters, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I wanted to say some things. It wasn't in good faith. You know, it seemed like Stu Peters came on there thinking that they were going to argue the major points of the case, try to get to the bottom of it, see each other's point of view, things like that.
That it was going to be an actual debate, like a structured debate that, like, you know.
But see, that's what Andrew tried to do. He said he had agreed to, like, these were his three things, his accusations to Stu. Stu had to defend them. And now you're basically in the debate to criticize a particular guy, which is weak as hell. Like, talk about the actual thing that happened. It's fine, ask him those questions, but when you have three questions to ask, and 1/3, Andrew, is you asking him 1/3 of your time or effort is going to be dedicated to, hey, you once called Andrew Kolvet.
How does that have anything in God's green earth to do with the killing of Charlie Kirk?
Right. I mean, come on, man.
Pick something better than that.
Right.
At least, I mean, come on.
You're dedicating
man.
time to that. But anyways, it may not have even been Andrew's fault. It almost seems like nobody knew what the structure of that was. And to be honest, he keeps going on with this $300,000 to debate me. Okay, number one, are you going to ask Candace if she once convinced the First Lady of France of being a man? I mean, seriously, just to attack her credibility instead of talking about the case. But speaking of talking about the case, there's a lot of stuff here that I saw people online who were actually, they seem to be kind of coming around to the mainstream narrative because of that thing.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I'm talking here. Real quick, back to the Andrew Kolvet, though, is a Jew thing. Andrew, according to your religion, Andrew Kolvet's kind of a Jew. He's not a Christian. You got to remember, he's a Zionist. And I believe you don't even really think of evangelicals or non-denominationals as Christians. But on top of that, he's a Zionist. He thinks there's a chosen group of people. He helps to raise hundreds of millions of dollars for, as you've said in other debates, to help bring the Antichrist. So you got a guy here who's helping to bring the Antichrist, who is surrounded by those kind of people, who believes that someone else is the chosen people instead of those who find eternal life through Christ. Okay, well, he's not a Christian. And if you have to classify him as something, argue with me, debate me. He's a Jew. But is he a Muslim?
I mean, if we all did that for, say, Muslims, we'd be called, like, you know, Islam sympathizers or
Jihadists.
Oh yeah.
Muslims with box cutters.
Right.
But anyway,
on their way.
I always do that when I'm going. I'll go off on a tangent in a different direction, so I have notes to keep myself organized.
But first, if you're smart enough to read that sign, because it's backwards, you know, we kind of didn't have time to
No, it's a test. If you're smart enough, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, well, yeah, and if you're not smart enough, then, you know, we really don't
subscribe
want
to
you, but subscribe anyway.
But everybody make sure you leave comments. Comments are everything. in the YouTube world, and we get to interact with people, and I love it.
And please comment about the Andrew Kolvet is a Jew thing, because I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, sorry, it's just funny.
But anyway,
You know,
it's entertaining.
And there are some major points that Andrew made that may not be in this, because what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get people to see through the eyes of, let's say you're an investigator, okay? Let's say you're in that system. You're a lead investigator, or you're a prosecutor. And I basically have, right here, the probable cause affidavit, okay? So the things that are in that are what show to the judge, hey, this guy, there's a reason for arresting him. There's a reason we're trying to take him to trial.
Right.
We're eventually going to try to prove that he's guilty of this. It is a lower bar that you set for this. It seemed like Andrew didn't know what he was talking about with the court dates either. What Stu said is true. He will be on trial for his life if this goes to court.
Yeah.
I'm trying to prove that it simply can't. And if something like this goes to court, you have to worry about your kids, your friends, everybody.
Everybody in America, you should be terrified. And I said the other day that, when Kyle Rittenhouse was on trial, which is obviously a very different case, but when he was on trial, it was a worry for everyone. Like, with this, it was blatantly on camera what happened and everything. Like, if this goes the wrong way, that's going to set a major precedent for people, and we all need to be terrified.
I'm going to go through the major points that affidavit contains, and I want you to look at it and go, wait a minute, like, does that work? Is that enough? Because by the time I'm done with this, you're completely insane or lying to yourself if you don't think that at least it should be a group of people that are in a conspiracy that are being charged. And remember, he hasn't even been indicted yet. But he will be going to trial for his life. If one last thing regarding like new developments and stuff, Andrew thought it was funny. Supposedly he was like one of the doctors or whatever that commented to Candace. You got to understand, bro. There's doctors she's been talking to for a long time, and she is letting this out little by little.
Yeah.
She gives people a chance to lie, just like you lied when you laughed everyone on our side of this argument out of the building by the statement that Tyler's never held a gun. I think that it is alleged that his grandmother said that. So then you put up a picture of him with the gun. But the problem was that wasn't him. And you were about 7 months behind or something. A long time behind.
And
we all knew that wasn't him. It just kind of looked like him as a white dude with the same build, I think with a hat on.
Yeah.
It wasn't him. They found out who it was.
They've done that with a lot of, Tylers. There's a lot of Tylers out there, they're all Tylers.
So on the medical thing, I actually suggest you go back and watch Barron's episode from the other day, because he consulted real medical doctors, surgeons, and they led him to very particular studies that tell you exactly if what they're saying in this medical report is true. C2 through C7 vertebrae being completely wiped out. What that means is within a tenth of a second, your body goes completely limp.
Mm-hmm.
There's way more than reasonable doubt in this, and I know they don't have to reach reasonable doubt on this, but there is a way that they say it. They sign off on it. Based on the evidence detailed in this statement, I believe there is probable cause that Tyler Robinson committed the crimes. One of the first things that's said in here, it says like, all of this is coming from da-da-da-da-da, and those who witnessed the incident. Okay, so here's some people who witnessed the incident. All kinds of 911 calls. Problem is, they said he was dressed in all black. They were wrong about which building he jumped off of. Well, they weren't wrong. They're wrong to take any of those statements and silence them, for sure. The first people who talked to press, or anyone talked to in a scene, they all said he was hit in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's your people who witnessed the incident. They also say he was shot from the right. Which makes sense. That was something I meant to say with the medical part, because, but whatever. He was sitting up on, like, I don't know, a damn milk crate, basically. And
the dumbest setup on the planet.
Hear about that in one of our other videos.
Set up for very specific purposes, but
Okay, and so all of this comes from the cameras later. The video's all chopped up. They contradict each other. There's all kinds of problems with that. And filmed with a potato, as people say. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. It's like you may as well just on the damn screen of the camera, or on the lens of the camera. And then it talks about hundreds of individuals. That the place held hundreds of individuals, or hundreds of individuals. There's supposedly 3,000 people there. The wording that we were just talking to before we filmed, investigator observed an individual on the rooftop. What does that make that sound like?
I mean, it makes it sound like he saw someone on the rooftop, that it was the shooter.
Meaning you were kind of standing there
looking,
and you look up, or everybody looks and you look over there. Well, that's wrong. That's not what they mean.
Look, there's Thomas Crooks. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So going through here so far, he's nobody. I mean, you got to remember, they saw that video that you've all seen, the first one. Now there's a second one that contradicts it, of him on the rooftop. But you can't make him out for nothing. Like, in all honesty, it's ridiculous. So, okay, so the guy saw that. He saw what appears to possibly be a white man get up from a position where somebody would pew someone and run off, jump off the building, all this stuff. Okay, that's what's seen so far. Later on video. Then they talk about his Chuck Taylors. There's certain stuff they mention in here, and I think they do it for a reason. The Chuck Taylors are detailed. If they're trying to connect those into two pictures, this is something that I think the defense will, well, hopefully don't even go to trial. They don't match. They're different shoes.
Yeah.
They're trying to match it up to, I think it was, it's a picture of him from like right before this happened. Him and Lance together. Lance actually had I think, the right ones. But either way, I can show it if anybody wants. I can show you the reference, but it's been in a lot of creators' videos. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. But those two Chuck Taylors, quote unquote, do not match. There's a slight difference, a very slight difference. So far you have two different people. I mean, you have a guy in regular clothes, just a guy. Remember, they saw a crappy, blurry blob on the screen. You have two guys. You have one guy in whatever, burgundy, like a lot of people were in that day for whatever reason. And then you have a guy that appeared to be in all black, basically. Wasn't the blob wearing black? It was like, oh, yeah, he had like a black overcoat now.
Yeah, yeah.
Which supposedly he was carrying that backpack before that, along with a broken down 30-06 and another change of clothes.
With the way the thing with the camp, the video, he could have been a freaking alien for all we know.
Right.
He looked like one of those huggy things that floats around on the.
And also, the two people don't look particularly similar. I mean, I see a difference in their build. It could be the clothing, but I do see a difference. Now, keep in mind, their story is that the father, Tyler's father, saw that picture of him running on the damn roof and identified him.
That's my boy, the blurry blob.
It's embarrassing, Andrew. Like, seriously, I'm going through this, the way that a judge is supposed to look at it. And they've presented nothing that adds anything good to this. That 4K footage of him pulling the trigger, though, Jack, was unbelievable. So then they say the suspect walks with a gait. In other words, like saying, they're saying he had it down his pants.
Yeah, because, he's like, you gotta walk with a limp. Like,
I'll give you that. But here's a problem.
He's a gangster lean.
The newest video with him on the roof, actually, I believe both of them. When he jumps up and takes off running, and supposedly that thing is in his pants, that gate is gone.
It's miraculous. Yeah.
And the reason I say that, you might be saying, oh, it's not in his pants, he's carrying it, whatever. No, he's carrying
Where?
it. Yeah, when a new video, the new one, the one that was dropped on Candace's, and there's more about that later. You can see both of his hands running. I have a clip of it from Valhalla. There's no 44-inch gun in his hands. You see him run across. And he does that weird army crawl thing that all of these military guys say, yeah, that's the only place to get that from. But hey, whatever. Maybe he watched a YouTube video on it.
Maybe he's part of an army from somewhere.
Maybe. Then he flips out. It looks like a mat or something. But again, it's quite pixelated. I mean, this thing's shot on like a razor. You know what I'm saying? A razor
would have been
not the new one, but yeah, probably. Actually, would have.
My big flip phone from back in the day would have shot that.
Taking pictures at the club. Yeah, so he flips that out. Now remember, you saw his two hands. The jacket's loose, so it's not as though he has it like tucked in there. The thing's 44 inches long. Even if he was like trying to conceal it, it would peek out. I mean, Remember, he's kind of a smaller guy.
You would see it. It reminds me of like the freaking Little Rascals all stacked on top of each other and trying to get into a movie.
That's what this whole case is.
It's like, what the hell?
That video needs to be confirmed that it's being used in court, that it's part of this. But if it is, the case is done.
Yeah.
That's it. Still, it's just a guy.
Yeah.
You know? We've gotten nowhere as far as those two people being connected. Now remember, you're not seeing it, but on these cameras, thousands of people are walking by throughout the day. Remember, he got there at 8:30 a.m. All these people are walking to their classes and all these things, and they're coming down to see Charlie, and some of them are probably wandering. And they say that, that's what they did. They kind of tracked Tyler, but there's problems with that. That's some of the problem right there. You can't tell they're the same person.
No.
Okay, so next, I say that he has a slightly different build. Oh, the picture on the stairs. It's not Tyler Robinson. Period. It's just not. The suspect does appear to possibly have a gun down his pants.
Maybe.
Even though the guy who came out, the Fed slopper guy, I forgot his name, the fat older guy.
Yeah.
A military guy, and I think he's an arms expert or something. He came out and had younger dudes that size try this. It took like 85 times to get it. But once he got it, everybody's like, see, he did have it down his pants or whatever. Okay, but I mean, you see his knee bend when he walks up the stairs and stuff. But, anatomy has to be out the window with this too. But the inner ear is different. And I just learned this recently from the Epstein thing. That's...
it's like a fingerprint.
Yeah.
He owns the exact same shirt. Just hilarious.
Yeah, I do. It's funny. And then they mention how at 11:53 he used his cell phone. There is a mystery 3 minutes missing from that. You see him get on it, like he's either taking or making a call, and then all this time passes by and he comes back down the stairs. Why is that cut? I mean, that's the thing. I understand that we're not at the stage of it where you have to prove, that he stayed in a call during that time or whatever it is, or you don't see any indications of anything, any signals, anybody, whatever it is. However, if you're a judge and you're looking at this, or you're a lead investigator, so far you've somehow connected two guys that aren't similar to each other at all, except, I don't even think this is in the charging indictment, so I shouldn't even bring it up. The car.
Oh, yeah.
Well, remember, we're going back to who witnessed the incident. The only people that witnessed that vehicle on campus said it was a bald guy and 3 other people in the car. Why aren't they up there, talking? But then again, this ain't where the defense comes up and, does what they have to do. So we'll see what happens with that. But then, of course, the video, one of the times they had the Challenger in the parking, or the parking garage, all of a sudden, I think it doesn't have its front license plate holder. Another time, it just doesn't have a moonroof. It's not the same car, same model of car.
Yeah.
But if you're having, I'm just saying, I understand that you may say that at point A and point Z, and I don't know, point G, him, but all of those in the middle make me skeptical about that. Why are you using the stuff that clearly you shouldn't be using? It's there.
Makes no.
It's there. A lot of people have covered it. Barron showed it. I believe Coach Collins showed it.
Yeah.
A few other people's. Dee, I think, showed it. Candace probably showed it. Another thing I would add is that he's a horrible shot.
Yeah, we've seen the targets.
Andrew, clearly, because he put up a picture of another guy and said it was Tyler Robinson, doesn't keep up on certain stuff, but we do. And this is a good time to go down and, save on a playlist some of the videos we have. No, I said that all fucking wrong. This is a good time to go and check out a few of our other videos. There is a playlist that has a bunch of stuff about Erika and TPUSA. I think you would like it because it's very organized and it kind of keeps you up to date on it, at least until a couple months ago.
Yeah, we started talking about this stuff a year ago.
Yeah, almost immediately. Yeah. I mean, honestly. So this guy shoots like crap. Yeah. And I understand he says it's so easy, a 140-yard shot. But is it, though? After you've just pieced this thing together with the screwdriver, which a screwdriver doesn't work on that particular scope.
Yeah.
But that's not in this indictment, so I guess I shouldn't even mention it. But in the circumstance, I'll just say, it's not that easy of a shot.
No.
In that circumstance, a guy that, dude, I don't know if it was 100 yards, 200 yards, whatever, but the targets that they have on record that were Tyler Robinson, so he has held and shot a gun before, dude, they were horrible because I probably had never shot one before that. You know,
I mean, yeah.
Some people are just bad though.
I'm not a
You're
great
pretty
shot.
bad.
My hands shake really bad. You know,
You need like a 12 gauge buckshot or something like for any purpose.
Yeah. I mean, and I've shot multiple guns and rifles and stuff over the years, and yeah, these days
I'm naturally good at it, and I'm blind. I don't understand how, but I just.
He's a great shot, but I still have had better shots than Tyler.
Oh God, and that's what I mean.
And that's saying a lot because for me right now,
you have to use context and nuance, and I mean, in other cases, get out of the minutia all the time. But I mean, you're talking about a guy whose heart is beating 1,000 miles a minute.
That's a terrifying situation.
I don't think he's
pressure stress.
Very high pressure. I don't think he's ever committed a crime. You know what I mean?
Not that we know of, and not yeah.
He knows there's a very good chance that 3,000 people could turn around and see him. He's in the damn gravel. You know, but interestingly enough, he does that crawl like he's experienced with it. He practiced that. He didn't practice shooting. He didn't practice coming to UVU to make sure he knew where to get on the roof or where to run to. The guy ran supposedly into a damn, like, major busy highway.
Yeah.
Trajectory of the bullet doesn't match. For it to do what they're saying it needs to do, it would go like this. There's some diagrams out there that show that. And keep in mind, I'm mentioning this because the investigator would be thinking that after whoever or whatever thing in his brain is telling him to attach these people that have nothing to do with each other. They don't look the same. Maybe they're wandering around, but there's a video of what looks to be Lance Twiggs wandering around too. There's all kinds of videos of people wandering around.
Yeah, it's a college campus. I mean, people wander.
Speaking of which, they didn't mention that there was another guy on the roof. It talked about eyewitnesses. There is an eyewitness. We've all seen the video, or at least those of us who followed it and aren't just the paid shill for TPUSA. We've shown it. Candace has talked to the guy. He filmed a guy on the roof in all black, like what all the 911 callers said, and the police scanners. Tactical gear. It looked like he knew what he was doing. Had something likely smaller with him, like an AR-15 or something. They didn't need to talk to him. Either that or they didn't return his call. I don't remember which, but they told him they don't need him.
That's insane.
But even if, like, I don't know, somehow it's like an AI video or something, you have to check that out.
You're supposed to follow every tip, every lead, every...
Follow none here. But somehow we follow a guy who has 2 different cars, who has different clothing, who...
different faces.
Yeah, different faces. His shadow disappears, just gone. I mean, there's certain laws in nature that cannot be broken. One of my big issues with this whole thing, I know it's probably not that important to some people, but I look at the body language, the movement, and just the way people carry themselves. You have a guy who jumps down off of a roof. It's not very high. It's like, what, 12 feet, 15 feet maybe?
Yeah.
He's hanging by his damn arms. He jumps down with something flopping, lands there. He runs across a damn grass courtyard as people walking on the sidewalk, other people cutting over this way, and they're all NPCs. The guy's running with a giant gun in his hand, or at least like a giant, gun case or something.
Something,
and they're yeah, because he had time to take it apart.
And
he just shot.
There was some kind of calamity that just happened, whether they heard it or not. Whoever is there, it's like...
So I think the first video is fake. That's more realistic. Having to do with why investigators are called in the first place and all of this stuff. The family supposedly identified it. Oh, that's his grandpa's gun. You know, kind of solidified for them that it was Tyler that did this. The guns are 100 years apart. This is a modern 30-06 they showed in a box, okay? And they admit that's they weren't saying that's the gun. We're showing a gun.
Yeah, this is
which
the
is weird.
Gun that was used, which is very weird.
But they look nothing alike.
Yeah, but when they're saying Granddaddy's gun,
they're literally saying something I believe was made around World War One, like when these games, when the 30-06 first come out, like 1908 or something like that.
yeah, I mean, it's been proven that there's plenty of videos of several different people that have proven that to be completely not accurate.
No, it's not the gun. So for the parents or the grandparents to say, yeah, that's the gun, and that made us worry or whatever the case may be, it's completely untrue. The public was told that. Then you see an indictment that they discovered a bolt action rifle. Okay, so anyways, they talk about the family friend to get him to turn himself in.
Right.
We've heard all kinds of stories that it's because he's afraid of dying, even though he said he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory. It's all contradictory. But the family friend, just to double check just now, I looked it up. Initially, the main detective that was doing his I believe it was the chief that was doing a press release. Yeah. The guy come out and said that it was a retired detective friend of the family. But then later, it's a youth pastor who also works for what's it called, the marshals, and something else. Not a detective. Do you know what I mean? And now we heard something else. I don't remember exactly what. It doesn't matter. That's a BS story. His family has told certain people in the courtroom that that's a BS story. They didn't present any of this in court.
Which is insane.
Here's the guy. Here's a signed piece of paper from the guy. I don't know. Here's a picture of the guy. Go find him. Something. Nothing. There's none of this is there. These are things that you always have at this hearing for something this important.
Or something even very tiny.
Actually, yeah, you do.
I mean, seriously.
I know from experience.
You do, yes. And it's just ridiculous.
There's something that no one has caught that we did. I really wish we could have pushed the videos we do have a little harder, because there's stuff that people seem to miss, or maybe they don't think it's as important. That there is a time when Tyler is walking on the street, captured from a ring cam, and an SUV pulls up to him, talks to him for a minute, and pulls away.
Yeah, that in the very beginning of all this, when people were uncovering stuff, was it Candace that had mentioned that?
I don't know if I saw it in Candace or not. It might even been outside the Overton. I'm not sure where I saw
somebody. Yeah.
Any gunshot residue on him?
Did they test for it?
I know it was 33 hours, but the man was wearing the same shirt. They made a point of saying that because they know they can't damn identify him.
Mm-hmm.
They said none of this matches yet. None of it. Actually, none of it matches now. So when he was
arrested, was he wearing the eagle shirt or the black thing?
I think it's a maroon shirt. Family member said there was a family member said they had a conversation about Charlie Kirk, and it was negative, and that he spreads hate. This is a one-time thing. So the guy supposedly has a furry boyfriend or whatever, trans, and which I don't even think any of that's true. But either way, said that they never talked about politics. He never brought this stuff up.
Yeah, Lance said that.
Yeah, he'd been increasingly, political. But there's this one conversation, and I think I mentioned of Trump once. And the reason I say that is because they're using that this guy, whoever's home they're in, used or had this conversation that Charlie was spreading hate. Interesting that's exactly what it says in the text thing, which we'll get to in a minute, Andrew, because that's the thing that you love. But they're painting that in here as, okay, he hated the guy.
They're trying to make it to go with the radicalized narrative.
Right.
That, he hated, Charlie spread hate, and then, his boyfriend is trans, so, there's that.
His boyfriend never heard about him, never mentioned being offended by any conservative that had anything against trans people.
Yeah, he said they didn't have a conversation about it.
But they'd already convinced the public that that's what it was about, so he didn't even have to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Something funny about I'll say it at the end. Oh no, here we are. Twiggs. When they came to Twiggs' door, he said, they asked him about Tyler. He said he made a joke on Discord. In other words, a joke about he's telling himself it's a joke. He's lying for him. So he's downplaying, he's lying, but then you leave him with his phone that's going to turn out to be essentially the only evidence anyone can point to that ties anyone to this stuff. And you just take pictures of the text, supposedly. The grammar and stuff in the text is already funny enough.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we don't even have to go down that hole again. I mean, I just don't
Yeah,
feel
we
like
went
reading Shakespeare and whatnot at the moment. So.
And on top of that, this is where it starts getting to the best you could do is arrest 2 people as a conspiracy. Because Lance asks him in a message thread if this conversation is even real. Sounds like he's setting him up, to be honest, if it's even real. He says, did they get your change of clothes? He never said he had one at that point in the conversation. Never said he brought a change of clothes. So that would tell me that maybe Lance knows something that, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Coaching him maybe to.
Yeah, coaching him and or had something to do with it. We don't know where he was that day. He supposedly slept like all day. And then about the Discord thing in the first place. A bunch of what he said was sent while he was in jail.
Yeah. How?
They're bad at this, Andrew. They're very bad at this. Timeline.
Did they let him have his phone while he was in jail?
No.
While he was sitting in the interrogation room?
No.
Have we ever seen him in the interrogation room? Do we know he was in it?
It's weird. 2 different police stations. No video of him outside walking to the building. No video of him in a lobby.
No video of him sitting in a room waiting for a detective or being asked anything
in question
by a detective while they sit in front of the door and try to pressure. Yeah, I mean, nothing.
Or where they took him. Nothing. Back to the text messages before I forget. Another person that witnessed this, there's this one that saw Tyler in a steakhouse where his credit card was used at a time when supposedly the timing doesn't work. When supposedly he was sending certain messages saying that he was looking at the gun and trying to get a chance to go get it, and I don't remember his weird ass
drop
wording.
site or whatever it was called. I don't know.
Oh my god, dude! You could actually compare it, yes,
I've seen it
to the structure of his writing.
Murder trials where people were acting like they were somebody else, and like, what?
Yes,
it doesn't look like my mother. It doesn't look like the way she
My mom
texts.
doesn't spell well, and it's all
that
spelled
led
right.
to some, finding out.
Oh, and the texts themselves. Yeah, I had said they left Twiggs with his phone. They took pictures of the screen.
Who does that?
In a major murder investigation. I would actually bet that that's never happened.
I don't think I've ever heard of it in my life. They would get a warrant for that phone. Sometimes they don't even get a warrant.
I don't think they needed a warrant in this case. They're in the house. People are saying he did it.
They might not. But
I don't know.
Even if they did, they would.
This warrant is BS.
Get it, they would take it, and that would be it. They'd say, "We're taking your phone. You give us the password."
It's silly as hell. They took pictures of it, and it just so happens, just like the cameras at that police station were out, the cameras at that police station were out, the camera on the guy who's supposedly a cop who supposedly found the screwdriver, his camera was out.
The camera where Epstein was, was out too. But
and so miraculously, the phone is broken in just the place where we show the date that the texts come in and out.
Yeah, it's got a crack in the screen, just right there.
And also suspicious is that when they shared them with us through the media, they added the times. The times aren't there. And on top of all of that, the only date you have on any of these pictures is the 15th. They were there on the 11th.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says...
It happened on the 10th. So
and it's a digital photo. And I'd like to see the file name, to be honest with you. The geotagging, kind of like what put Mitch Snow at Fort Huachuca.
Palantir had all that shit down.
It's Huachuca, not Tachuca.
Yeah, my God. If you're going to make fun of people saying words wrong, let's just go with that.
Ask your boy Andrew Kolvet, because, his family literally spent their life there. But I'll probably mention that later. And of course Tyler contradicting himself. I'm going to go down in a blaze of glory. And then it's like, oh, I'd rather kill myself than turn myself in. But, I don't want to get killed. It's okay. I'll chalk that up to emotion.
Yeah, right. I could see that.
But remember, you're an investigator, and nothing is matching up. The guy doesn't look like the guy. The car isn't the car. The gun they supposedly saw on TV that alerted him doesn't look like a gun. Even Lance Twiggs could not identify Tyler, I think it's the bottom right photo when he actually got questioned, or when he was in court, or his like cyborg version.
That was so weird.
Such a creepy dude. He couldn't identify a picture of Tyler that was much better than the picture of Tyler that was shown in the news that his parents supposedly saw and identified him. Stop it, dude. Also, this is extra, but Pop's seen it, I believe. People have pictures of it, videos of it. All of Lance's weird, schizophrenic scribblings and building and twisting of things is like he did meth. Like when you watch a documentary,
taking apart a whole
people doing
keyboard
meth,
and put it back together.
He actually has one or two of those statements that are, remember when I was engraving bullets? He has one or two of those written down in a very similar way.
Yeah.
Go look for it. There's a video out there that shows the inside of Lance's house. It says, this is what it says in probable cause affidavit. Definitely Twiggs' DNA, but very likely Robinson's too. Very likely? What the hell is that? I mean, usually DNA, they're like 1 in 100 billion shit.
What year is it? It's 2026? Okay, so
not there,
DNA
apparently.
is no longer in its infancy,
Yeah,
as they love to say on all those shows, you know. So come on.
There's also dust in a barrel. There might be a little dust in the barrel. Yeah, that's bottle.
Whatever.
Still, to this point, and I'm almost through this, medical report. Now, a simple conversation with one doctor who knows what they're talking about, or even just Googling and looking up studies on it, and I mean, they're specific. Those vertebrae being knocked out make it completely impossible for his body to react in the way that it did. Period. There's no discussion. It also shows it's indicative of force coming across the body this way.
And they said it was
I don't know. He went that way too.
Suffered, what did the medical report say? Something about like severe blunt force.
Yeah, they said it's usually a severe blunt force trauma, like getting hit by a large vehicle, a train or something. Pretty bad, yeah. And I understand that the body can have the trauma. See, this is where they'll take a little thing, like the way that Andrew debates, and they'll, discount something by doing that. But the facts are important. The fact of the matter is, as far as the medical community knows, no one in the history of the world has ever had all those vertebrae knocked out the way that they were, and gone beyond just over a tenth of a second. Their bodies stay tense or normal
moved at all.
Right. It just loses. It goes completely flaccid.
Yeah, you're just boom. Yeah, it's like getting hit with a bomb. You just boom.
You've got Discord messages that, well, first they're Discord messages, then Discord said there wasn't, then there were, and lo and behold, they were sent while he was in jail. You have text messages where the chain of custody is weird as hell. You're taking pictures of it. You can't identify the date on it.
You have no damn interrogation tape.
What's funny is that they didn't even...
No footage.
No. There's nothing.
Not even silent footage of him just sitting in the room in handcuffs. Nothing.
Yeah, I smoke too, Andrew. I'm edgy. Yeah, I wish I would have never started again. But I know y'all want me to wrap this up, and I'm about to. There's a couple things y'all need to think about. Number one, Andrew keeps saying that all we have are theories. You guys need to prove your theories. There's no proof. And explains what proof is. We know what proof is. And it's something you don't have either. All you have is a theory. You have the narrative. It's the theory. None of it's proven. None of it's proven to be tied together. I think you're just still not understanding what this hearing is. These hearings are about. This is probable cause. They're trying to figure out if they have like the bare minimum it takes to build a case against the guy. I don't remember who it was that I heard this from. That's a great saying. When it comes to an attorney, it's not about who knows the law the best. As far as it goes right now, all they've done is brought the canvas out. Maybe the prosecution gets to kind of draw a little outline around it, but that's it. When it comes to this type of a case, it needs to be on the up and up. You're looking to get it right. If not just for justice and morality concerns, career, Possibly. You know, the judge is basically the grand jury in this situation. How does it look for him if he lets a case come into his courtroom that's this important to so many people? If you're that judge and somebody brings you this, are you going to say, yeah, let's spend all that money on that case? Let's dedicate all these resources. Let's put this on TV, maybe, so people can laugh at us. How is this going to affect my reputation? How's this going to go down in history? Because this is a historic moment. This is Kennedy, except with a lot of players that are possibly worse, and social media and more access to what happens, what's going on, FOIAs, things like that. In my opinion, and I'll tell you why I believe this, if you're a prosecutor or you're just a judge looking at it, trying to determine if this is the right way to proceed, if you're not looking at a conspiracy, you're either not in the up and up or kind of sputtered by in your career. You've got, I think it was 13 different people on Twitter and I believe elsewhere, basically that were clairvoyant. They predicted this was going to happen to Charlie that day. Interesting. Might have something to do with the case. You've got a guy that jumps up and says he did it. And okay, I guess he didn't. But he then said that he was paid to do that. Also interesting. They hid him away, say he had CP on his phone, and never heard from him again. I don't know what happened to this other guy, but there's a guy, I don't remember his name. A lot of you guys that follow Candace, put it in the comments. He was going from ER to ER, trying to finish Charlie off. He had a pistol, and I believe he was wearing a doctor's coat or something when they arrested him. Looked like, I don't know, he looked like one of those guys that go get their anger out in a movie theater or something, You've got Lance, who, yeah, he's, state's witness or whatever the case may be, I'm sure, but he gave nothing. And for a guy with arguably more stuff against him than there is to Tyler, I don't know, man. It's looking like more people in this little conspiracy. There's more of his DNA. Tyler's got messages coming from his account while he's in jail. I wonder who had access to that, huh? The guy scribbled down the stuff that ended up on the bullets. Interesting. All kinds of other stuff there, too, including pretty much lack of a motive for Tyler, too. It's a weak-ass motive. I would say a good 40% of the country would feel like they had a bigger motive than Tyler. The thing that starts making it a grand conspiracy, and I'm not saying it's that, but very quickly, lies. A lot of them. From people close to Charlie, but also in law enforcement. Maybe those cameras and all those different places just all mysteriously didn't work, when Tyler came around. Maybe he's got some kind of demon in him or some kind of kinetic energy. And when he comes around, cameras get turned off and lights go out and things like that. Oh, God, that's right. Candace said that about Charlie. Maybe he's carrying the spirit of Charlie. You've got major HIPAA violations coming out, all kinds of things. That's where it starts looking like a grand conspiracy, are the lies and the contradictions of the people that were there. There's more there to consider a conspiracy than there is for this one guy. And I'll tell you what, if any of those people is involved just the tiniest bit, you'll get more on Tyler. You're not looking for the quickest result. You're looking for the best result. Yeah, Andrew, you rush to judgment or rush to a paycheck or whatever it is. Because now you've got a medical report out there, all this stuff you can cross-check. And when it comes to theories, that microphone theory actually makes more scientific sense than the one you're trying to throw at us. I feel like you're an intelligent enough guy, and nobody with any level of intelligence would take up this fight unless you stood to gain something. Anybody who's spent any real time studying this, it's just not right. I guess that's all I got to say. There's your debate. And I also wanted to say something else. You could say, okay, I'm not paid by these people aren't my friends, whatever, it's not like that. But when you have something like this, and you have a voice, an annoying nasally one. But when you have a voice and you come up here and you take these stands, you are aligning yourself with these people. That's all there is to it. Yeah, you're backing their crazy theory. People aren't going to forget that. Thanks to anybody that stayed this long or skipped around to get to the end here. I hope you took in some important facts. We have several videos, and I'll link to them here at the end, that basically go into all the TPUSA lies. They go into things from from the very beginning, from what happened to Charlie. And there's even some videos where we go over certain things that he said, that offended people and kind of defend them. We've got my favorite one, where we asked AI to do a psychological evaluation on Erika Kirk and figure out if she's like dangerous to the public, by consulting the DSM-5 and all the clinical data out there. We got another video where we really dug into her background. And there's also some where we kind of go over who had proper motive. We also had AI help with that, to keep it unbiased. Just a lot of stuff from the beginning. We even went with a theory at the beginning that wasn't right, but I bet you it's compelling. It's an entertaining video. So go check those out. I don't know how many people are going to see this, but I don't know. This Charlie Kirk thing, this case is extremely important. You could be somebody who despised Charlie, which would be silly, but you could be somebody who despised Charlie, and this is far too important of a precedent to set in our courts. It's an absolute joke. I mean, just picture it's your kid, it's your kid, and there's really nothing on him, and he's the only one sitting in jail. Oh, and the public, talk about poisoning the jury pool. The public is told about a confession. I don't know, man. There's no written confession. There's no audio. There's no video. You don't even have any of that man. Should have been nicer to Stu, man. Maybe he would have went home, went to sleep, and not went and dug more stuff up. You gotta be careful with investigative journalists, dude. But that's all I've got to say. Danielle says goodbye too, and thank you for watching. Shabbat Shalom. And we're finally going to finish that Gaza series here in a minute. But check out that playlist and, leave your thoughts below.
He would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the drunk drawer.
Goyim's gonna goy, I said Goyim's gonna goy. Switch hitting shapeshifter in a sparkling suit, speaking to teens, probably thinking they're cute.